Hey guys, today I'm going to review a new fish feeder I got here, an automatic fish feeder. So if you watched my previous video, I have reviewed another fish feeder. So this is a kind of new thing, new model. And you can see that the model, the brand name is called DoPhin, kind of like a dolphin. Okay, or DoPhin, whatever it is. So it's AF012 model number. LCD auto feeder. So as you can see, this comes with a LCD screen with buttons to set the time and feeding cycles. This is the container for fish food, and as always it has clamps for your aquarium tank on the rim. Okay, so for the box, this box is fairly small. It's easy to, I guess, for shipping and handling. So as you can see, this can be, it says it can be mounted either horizontally or vertically on the tank. Okay, so and it's got 5 different setting time with 1 to 3 cycles each. I'll show you in detail later. Just basically it works like this. Okay, feeding container, container cover, actual motor with LCD and clamps. Okay, so let's open this up. So the main thing is here in the plastic bag. Okay, main unit here, and the second bag contains the clamp with 2 screws. Okay, and now the last thing in the box, the manual. Okay, which is in English and Chinese. So as always, with any manual, it's sometimes harder to understand. Like my last fish feeder review, a lot of people commented that they cannot read the manual at all, or they lost the manual, so they have to watch my video for how to set the time and feeding cycle. So as always, I will do it so that you know how to operate this thing. Okay. So first, let's do a physical inspection. So in front of this feeder, large LCD screen. This is the manual feeding button. Okay. So if you press that, this feeder will run for 1 cycle, 1 feeding cycle. Okay. So why do you even need that? Why do you even need a fish feeder at all if you're at home at all times? Well, some people, they're kind of OCD. They want to make sure it's always the fish are always fed at the same time with the same amount of food. Okay, even though you're here, you still want to press the menu button so that it feeds the same kind of amount of fish food, or at a certain time of the day, right? If you like that, then this is for you. Or if you're going on vacation, obviously, you want to feed the fish at the same time every day without anybody there. So obviously this is for that purpose as well. Okay, so like I said, menu. So in the 3 buttons under the LCD screen. In the middle is the set. This is plus, this is minus. I'll show you the operation later. So on the side, here is the battery compartment. Just press and slide open. 2 batteries. Double A batteries, AA batteries. So I like this feature because I really dislike having AAA batteries in any machine, because they run out fast and they're more expensive to buy. So on a daily operation cost, AA batteries, because they're the most common, that's really I prefer. Okay. So bottom here, you can see kind of a niche here. This is where you put on the clamps for sticking it onto the tank, aquarium tank. Okay, so I'll show you this part later. So this is the feeding container. Okay, fish food goes in here. Now on the top here, this is the sliding door. If you slide all the way closed, now even if your feeder is working, it's rotating, no food is coming out, obviously, right? This is closed. So for it to work, you have to open it, but open how much, it determines how much food is coming out of your feeder. Okay, so there's no scientific like measure. You have to actually experiment to see how much food comes out for each rotation, so that you know how much you're feeding your fish. Okay, so you have to experiment with this sliding door. Okay, so if you wonder how to open this container, it's simple. You just pull. Don't worry, you won't break it. Okay, so here is this part is obviously the motor and the slider. I mean, rotator. Okay, it rotates. When it rotates, your container here rotates. When it comes to the down position, the food will leak out of this sliding door, obviously, right? So that's how it works. So basically, it's just a motor that rotates this container to push food out of this. Simple operation. Okay. Now the clamps works like this. You just basically turn the screw. It slides this clamp open and shut. So depending on how thick your aquarium glass is, right, this is how it's clamping tightly your feeder onto the aquarium tank. There's also two small screws you can use to put it here. I don't think you normally need it. The only time I think you might need it is that your tank, the top of your tank is not flat, meaning the glass of your tank is, if you have a rim on the top of the glass, right, the rim is wider, the glass is not as wide, so that's why you need to put more the screw here to clamp onto the glass, so that to even out the width, so it will actually secure tightly. Okay, but if you don't have like a thick rim on the top of the glass, then you probably don't need this. Okay. Anyway, so it says you can mount vertically and horizontally, and that is definitely true. Let's show you. Let me show you. So if you here, main unit, the clamp, you can slide. Remember here, you slide this onto it. You have to look. Scan these. You have to slide this way. Okay, from here it doesn't go slide in. From here, slide in. Okay, so then you tighten the screw, so this hangs out over your water, and when it turns, fish will drop in the water. Okay, and if you want to mount a different way, you can do it this way. And okay, here, this way. So you can clamp this onto the glass, and it hangs on over your tank this way, vertically. Although the food coming out will be like this. So it may not go as, depending on how much food you have in there, it may not leak out as fast as this horizontal position, because then when it turns to the side, this whole thing is exposed. Whole door is exposed. If you do it vertically, when it turns, how does it work? Right? It's hard to say. So I don't know the vertical mounting. How does it work? Because it rotates this way, it's always exposed, right? So no idea. But that's an option. Okay. So normally you would do the horizontal mounting, obviously. Okay, so let's put in the battery and show you the operation. That's the most important part. By the way, let me show you just before if you were looking at this review video for decision if you want to buy it or not, let me show you the width, the most width that your glass can be for this feeder. So it's basically from here to here. That's how thick your glass can be, right? So it will be 1 and I would say actually less than a quarter, 1/8 of an inch, or in centimeters 2.7 centimeters. Okay, so that's how thick your top of your aquarium tank can be. Any thicker than that, you won't be able to clamp onto it. Okay, so if it fits, then let's operate this. So put it on battery. So now one thing I really wish it has is the ribbon for battery release, because once you put it in there, it's kind of hard to take it out. Okay, slide the battery door back in. Okay, so you can see the LCD is now showing numbers. Okay, so it kind of remembers some of the settings, like for example the feeding cycle. Okay, so even if you take the battery out, the feeding cycle may still be there, but the time you have to reset. So every time you change your battery or take your battery out, now you may have to reset something. It doesn't have all the memories. Okay, so first I want to show you the menu button. Okay, let's actually put some fish food in here and show you. So I have here some pound pellets. Okay, pound pellets in the container. We're going to slide the door to be half, I guess. Okay, we're putting on it. Okay, secured it in place. So this is kind of like say, imagine this is your tank wall, and you clamp onto it. The water is right below here. Okay, let's do a manual press. It's going to rotate 360 degrees. When the opening is at the bottom, okay, food drops out. And when it finishes rotation, it's going to stay there. So how much food dropped out? About 8 to 10 pellets dropped out. Okay, that's how it works. So depending on how wide your gap is, it will drop out some food on each rotation. Okay, now let's take a look how to set this thing. This is the most important part. Now first time you put your battery in and operate this, you want to set the time. Okay, so that's your local time, whatever is on your clock, I guess. Okay, so if you press and hold the set button here in the middle, just press hold, and when you see it flashes, you release. Okay, so the hour is now flashing. So you're going to set your local time. For example, let's imagine that right now is at the night. This is on a 24-hour format. Okay, so this is 23 hours, 2300 hours, which is like 11 o'clock at night. So you're going to press set. So the hour is set. Now the minutes are flashing. Okay, so you want to set it to, for example, we're going to set it to 11:55. Okay, press set again. The local time is set. Now it's flashing for your first feeding time. Okay, so if you don't want to change anything, don't want to set anything, all you have to do, there's no cancel button here, you notice. So all you have to do is let this flash for like a minute. It will basically go back to the time, nothing is set. It's kind of act as cancel button, but since they didn't put a cancel button in there, that's how you cancel any operation. Just wait a minute. Okay, but if you want to set your first feeding time, then let's do it. So let's imagine we're gonna do exactly at 12 o'clock at midnight. See, it canceled. Okay, after a minute of flashing, it canceled. Time still is there, but the first feeding time was not set because we let it flash for a minute without doing anything. Okay, but if you definitely want to do it, so let's go back. Okay, still ask you to set time, but you already set time, so just press through. The first feeding time, we're going to do at exactly 12 o'clock, so 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, it's flashing now on this first square. This is your first feeding cycle, and you want to set how many rotations it goes, right? Remember, remember this sliding door decides how much food goes out But if one full open sliding door is not enough, you might want to rotate twice or 3 times, right? So if we do this, you use the plus button. Right now it's 1, now it turns 2. That means 2 revolutions of the feeding container. If we press 1 more, it's 3. Okay, if we press 1 more, it's 0. Okay, so, or you can use minus to take off 1 cycle. So let's say 1 cycle, and we set. So click set again. It goes to next one. So if you don't want to set the second one, you can let it flash for another minute. It will go back to time, and your first one is already set for 1 feeding cycle at exactly midnight. Okay, so for the second one, same thing. You want to set for 23, for example, 57, right? You can set it like that. And feeding, you can set it to be 1, 2, or 3 revolutions. But if you don't want any feeding, say you just want to feed it 1 time during the day, not 5 times. So what do? You press minus, take off all the feeding out of this cycle, you press set. So same goes with the other one. Doesn't matter the time. If you don't want to feed it, just keep pressing. If there's any feeding cycle there, just use minus to take it off. Okay, so that way we have set this thing to be feeding only 1 time, exactly at midnight, with 1 rotation of the container. Okay, so if you want more rotations for each feeding, so feeding more things, then you can set it with 2 or 3 rotations, with the sliding door indicating each rotation how much food comes out. Okay, and if you can feed up to 5 times during the day, at exactly the same time during the day, as indicated by that 1 to 5 time setting, and each time you can set to 1 to 3 rotation cycles. Okay, so right now we're setting for 1 only. You can set it to twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, or 5 times each day. Each time you can turn 1 to 3 times. Okay, so if you when you first receive your fish feeder, all these will be set to, by default, this is the midnight, 3 cycles, 1 minute after midnight, 2 cycles, something like that. So it's all by default 1 minute apart, all 3 cycles. If you don't change anything, it's going to feed your fish 5 times during the first 5 minutes of your day. Okay, so you need to change that. If you don't want to feed at all, or just feed 1 time, you need to cancel the other 4, because by default they are filled up with 3 rotations. So that's staying the it didn't say in the manual, but this is something you want to do. Okay, so I don't know what else. We're just waiting for it to hit midnight so we can see the 1 rotation going. And so, like I said, the battery is okay. It's rotating, and it shows with rotation icon there. It's rotating. Okay. So this time, because I closed the door, nothing came out. I'm just showing you this 1 rotation exactly at midnight. Okay. So if your battery is running out, you will see this LCD screen not as bright, as clear as before. It's time to change the battery. Okay, or if the rotation is not strong enough to complete, then you might want to change your battery. But like I said, this is since it's a AA battery, it's really easy to find and cheap to operate. So yeah, overall this is really good function. Like I said, I wish in the next upgrade of this model, they may want to consider putting a battery release ribbon or a cancel button, so that you don't have to wait for the 1 minute. But otherwise, for occasional use or for a small tank, this is really really good auto feeder. Okay, so if you have any questions, just leave me a message on the video page, and hopefully you'll enjoy this feeder. Thank you.